Hey, everybody. Big show tonight. Happy New Year to everybody. This is the first show of the year. It's a pretty big show. Special guest tonight. We're trying to get 100 people on. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fish Talk Live. Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the year. It's a big episode. We've got a very special guest. Let's share this out right now. Share it into your groups. Let's see if we can get 100 people on this and get it going. All right. All right, big show tonight. We got a bunch of new prizes on the wheel. Bunch of cool stuff happening. Still have some time to share this out. Let's see if we can share this out, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Happy New Year. This is Fish Talk Live, episode number 10. So we're super excited that we have a special guest on tonight. Fish Talk Live is a multi-stream show that is taking social media by storm and the fish keeping hobby to new levels. We're trying to blow up the social media, gamify the experience, bring the community together. So tonight we're streaming live on Facebook, Periscope, Vapors TV, and now we are on Twitch and YouTube. So give us some subs on YouTube if you can. Go over there, give us a like, and help grow the show. The more the show grows, the better experience it is for everyone. All those streams can be found by going on to Ron Cichlids / Tuesday Fish Talk Live. You can find all the past episodes there too. Our mission is to create a live show experience for you, our viewers, and the Clubhouse group members. We're adding new segments and sponsors and bringing on new guests all the time. So it's definitely a place you want to come and check out if you're looking to look at some awesome tanks and learn new things about the fish hobby and all that. Anyway, my name is Dave Gould. I'm the man in the control room bringing you the videos and the graphics and all that. But I also get a special, get to introduce Mr. Ron Demers. So anyway, how's it going, Ron? Welcome. Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year, brother. It's gonna be a good year. Looking forward to the 2019 and everything we're gonna bring. Mr. Ron Demers. All of our faithful subscribers and new ones.
Yeah. So it looks like we got most of the regulars on. Brett Yarning, Lori Venker. We got James Smith. What's up, James? ADA Tank Supply, one of our sponsors. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. Saw Mario on there a little while ago. We'll talk about him in a little bit.
Yeah. So we've got a special guest tonight. Most of you know about it. We've been doing a little promotion and all that. Let's just show what we're doing tonight. All right, Ron, why don't you tell us about our guest tonight? And
so our guest tonight, which brings me a lot of great pleasure to introduce to you guys, is someone that I've been utilizing for many, many years for little projects of mine that I haven't quite figured out. And I'm sure most of you guys have visited and seen him. His name is Joey Mullen. You probably know him as Joey, Your Way Joey, or King of DIY. Joey has been on YouTube for quite a while now and has well over 1 million subscribers. Amazing guy, a very down-to-earth guy, works hard, and brings us ideas on how we can do things ourselves. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, a child. I don't care where you come from. When you do something yourself, you take more pride in it than if you went and bought it from a store. And that's basically Joey in a nutshell.
yeah.
He could buy this stuff, but he's decided to make it himself and share with others.
Yeah.
So
let's bring him in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here he is, Mr. Joey Mullins. Hey, Joey, what's going on?
Hey, Joey.
What's up, guys?
We're just getting there. First episode of the year. Super excited about doing these things, and we're super excited to have you on the show, man.
Very excited.
Been watching some of your episodes lately of, just how real of a person you are. So it's awesome.
I can be.
It is. It's Dave shared something with me recently, and I already thought you were a good guy, and that just solidified, what I already thought about you. And like I said on the introduction, you probably didn't hear, but I've utilized what you've put out for many years now, and it's life-changing that you want to share this with others, and it's nice to see that the following of people have embraced you for the most part over the years. So
yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
It's been crazy. This is almost 11 years. I'm going into my 11th year. I've been into my 11th year now here on YouTube. I think it's this April, I believe it is, where I celebrate 11 years of making videos. Wow. Keep in mind that the first 3 years took me 3 years to get 300 subscribers. So, and that was before like ad revenue or before anything. So I've always come at this with a real heart, with true intentions, really wanting to do with it. And everybody asks me what's next, and I have no idea because none of this was supposed to happen in the first place. I'm always trying to roll with the punches and just see whatever comes next. What I'm looking to do, really.
Awesome. We're happy to have you, brother. We're very happy.
Thank you.
And I know I got a lot of subscribers, a lot of people that we've kind of dropped this ball a few weeks ago as a teaser, and they've been anxious.
Yeah, the dangling carrot. So, hey everyone, we're gonna go ahead and Ron's gonna ask Joey some questions and just have a conversation, but we'll open it up to live questions after that. And so if you have any questions, go ahead and say that.
Before we begin, you guys got over 100 people watching. You guys only have 90 subscribers. Let's give them their first milestone of hitting 100 subscribers. If you guys could please subscribe, just so that if anything else, at least they got that from this interview, because I'm not sure how meaningful this is going to be.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
You know, we started the show just to basically have topics and bring content. Really, it was all about content, but we really wanted to gamify the experience as well. That's kind of you and I had a little discussion about the platforms and things, and Facebook was kind of a way that we could bring in this live chat and do this and spin wheels, give away stuff and everything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it's been a learning experience and all that. I'm gonna let you go ahead and take over, Ron, and just figure out what we're gonna do from here.
All right. I have some questions that I'm sure quite a few people are curious and they want to know, because everybody's just seen what you're doing, but they don't know who you are. And I think for the most part, most people who've really dealt with me, we've talked on the phone, or they've met me in person, or they're visiting, because I live in South Florida, they're visiting Miami or something, going on the cruise. They stop by. They sit and we chat for 2, 3, 4 hours. You know how it is. You could talk fish all day long.
Yeah.
And then they truly get to know you, and they realize you're not that person behind a computer screen. You're actually a human being who gives a damn. So
I'm both.
Tell us about you. Where do you live? Who are you?
Wait, here we go. I'm gonna have so many creeps show up my house. My address is I'm 35 years old. I have 2 children, a wife, a dog. I live in a small town called Truro, Nova Scotia. In fact, I live outside of the town limits. I live in Salmon River, in Canada. So
Nice.
East Coast, as far east as you can go. I've lived here. I was 9 years old. Born in Ontario. Started keeping fish when I was 19, so I think about 16, going on 17 years in the hobby now.
Nice.
And I mostly have a love for large monster type fish, but more so even into the niche of Asian arowana and freshwater stingray. I can't get enough of them.
Oh, I know. I've been watching you with the stingrays for years, and you've recently inspired me and some others again to go back to my roots and start looking at big tank, big fish again. You know, I fell in love with Africans at some point in time. I've had reefs and saltwaters and saltwater predators and South Americans and Central Americans and hell, you name it, I've had it. But those big monster fish have a near and dear place in my heart.
Yeah, it's tough to get out of them. They're almost like little water pets. However, I got a lot of people that want me to keep a lot of other things, so I'm trying to stay diverse, but it's really difficult to get out of, like, for example, cichlids. Cichlids are my first love. Although not my first fish. My first fish were cherison. It was actually a piranha. But cichlids were a massive part of my hobby till I discovered that freshwater stingrays were a thing.
No, those are cool. I've been watching you with those back when you were doing a lot of do-it-yourself tank builds with acrylic and do-it-yourself tank, do-it-yourself lighting builds. And you showcased the stingrays most of the time. They were in that big acrylic square tank. There was no substrate on the bottom from the videos I used to see.
Yeah,
it was all bare bottom, It was interesting for me to be able to build all that and to support delicate life like freshwater stingrays. So for me, it was like a testament, like these builds work and I trust them. Look what I'm, housing with it.
Yeah. I think you inspired a ton of people to go out and get stingrays. Like,
I hope not.
But
a lot of dead stingrays out there because of me then.
No, but
I know somebody recently that got one. It was a pet store rescue.
Yep.
Brought it home, and shortly after, it squirted out babies.
Right.
Apparently, he went back to the pet store. The pet store had 2 of them. One of them didn't make it, which I guess was the male. So he rescued the female, had no way of knowing it was a female, and ended up with babies.
Wow. Yeah, their gestation periods is usually around 90 days. It could be upwards of 120. But if you're not well versed with freshwater stingrays, you'd never be able to tell if it was pregnant. Usually they just look a little bit fatter. But if you look closely during the probably the last month or few weeks of them being pregnant, you can actually see the babies moving in their back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I have a question. How'd you get in the hobby? Are you one of those that just had this thing and said, I need fish. I mean, that's who I am. I was like, I need fish. Peace of mind.
I wish I had a normal story. I wish I had a, wish I was normal.
Yeah.
But I'm not, unfortunately.
No, you don't want to be normal.
So my wife actually got me my first aquarium. Used to walk by, this was back when I was 19. I'm not sure if you watched the video on how aquariums had saved my life, but I had a pretty bad past. And, going to the pet store in the mall or just like walking past it, I always found myself gravitating to see the fish. I was always amazed with them. Next thing I know, she got me a used 10-gallon tank. It had the clown puke gravel, an internal box filter, like a corner one, a clip on the back heater, no light. And that was it. I decided I wanted a piranha for it. So I went and got, I think it was like a 6-inch piranha, red belly.
Awesome.
And I guess the rest is kind of history. I just wanted more and more. Yeah, it was fantastic. I got into Oscars. I was keeping Oscars exclusively for like, it felt like forever. But I realized quickly that the aquarium hobby is a luxury hobby. I do not need this. I can't eat this fish tank. I don't, it's not paying the bills. It's a luxury hobby and it's really expensive. And I was broke, so I had to build a lot of stuff. And I started with building stands, and man, were they rickety, but they held the tanks up. They're much better than the Walmart press boards. So, yeah, as soon as I realized I could build a lot of these things, I just started trying to. But I guess it first came. I first had to have an understanding on water management and the nitrogen cycle and what actually needs to take place in a life support system where you could try to build one and size it appropriately for the stocking as well as the aquarium. But it seems like that was not too long ago. I didn't feel that long ago.
It starts with one fish and one tank, and then before you know it, you look back and you go,
yeah. So it sounds like out of necessity you dove into your DIY stuff.
Yeah, it was never I never enjoyed it. Like, nobody likes being broke. A lot of people do it yourself for the number one reason is because we can't really afford to go out and buy it. Next biggest reason is just the self feeling of accomplishment and enjoying the process, and or you need something specific and can't buy it type of deal. So for me, it was always a combination of the three.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. I'm a guy that I can do anything. I can build anything. I can weld anything. I can make things. I just have a way of seeing something and figuring out how to make it into something. And that's why how your videos have helped. Like recently, I couldn't find a overflow for my wet dry. I'm like, you know what? It's been a few years. I built one. I remember I built one, but I don't quite remember. You know, you have to have another standpipe in the back for suction. And I don't quite remember it. So I pulled up one of your videos. Hell, it was probably 6 or 7 years old. And I went, yep, that's it. And, I only had to watch it for a minute or so, and it reminded me. So for me, I like making my own stuff. And then it's like two big keys you just said there. I like making my own stuff, and the fact that you just can't always find the part that you're looking for. So you say, screw it, I'm just going to make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us about your desire to jump into being a YouTube creator, content creator.
Sensation.
Wow. Yeah, YouTube sensation. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like a sensation.
Yeah.
So YouTube at one point was just a video hosting site. There wasn't really communities or anything. And I'm talking almost 11 years ago. When I created my channel, I already had like maybe 10 or 15 other channels where I was uploading my content. I was just making videos because I thought it was easier than taking pictures to share on a forum. I would just upload a video, share it, and that was it. There was no point to getting views or anything like that, but I could never remember my username and password. And back then, it was easier to create a new channel than it was to recover your old one. So I just made new ones over and over again until one day I tried Joey. It was taken. All these different combinations of Joey. I look over at my Waru tank, which was a South American cichlid Waru amphicanthoids. That's how you pronounce it. I heard you say it wrong earlier. It irks me. But it was a Waru. I tried Waru Joey. It was available. Password Waru Joey. And I swear on my kids, that was my username and password for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter because nobody was really watching me. I didn't get any subscribers my first year, even though I uploaded over 100 videos. The community wasn't there yet. It wasn't, the hobby didn't reach YouTube.
It wasn't viral.
Yeah, forums, magazines, books. That's where we were doing our research, and aquarium clubs, of course.
Yeah.
Which is where my roots really began, was with aquarium clubs, from being just a member, board of directors, vice president, president, then owner. Like, I was very in depth with the local community. And that was a huge inspiration to, you know, taking YouTube a little bit more serious. Was like, if I can help local people like this, imagine worldwide. And I realized, I discovered there is a community. It's just really small right now, but I saw the potential. You know, 3 years into it, 300 subscribers. I see people these days that make videos for 6 months and upload 100 videos, and they get so frustrated that they're not growing, and nothing's happening. They're not getting traction, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, wow, you wouldn't like to live the YouTube career I had to live.
They're doing it for the wrong reasons. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just to reflect, and I do this is, I only have so much time in a day to do this on private chats and answer questions and take phone calls. But with this outlet, I can reach so many more people and help more people without having to speak with them on an individual basis, which, you know, chews up a lot of your time.
Yeah, certainly does. So for me, at one point, I had no direction with my channel. And I looked to a lot of the bigger channels that were much bigger than mine. Mr. Saltwater Tank, Dustin's Fish Tanks, LA Fish Guy, Bulk Resupply. These channels were all bigger than me by thousands. And I thought to myself, like, I'm not as good as these people, but they're all about something. So I looked at my own videos and discovered, well, my do-it-yourself videos are the most popular. I'm going to keep making them. Then I thought, well, I'm going to make the largest database of do-it-yourself projects that I possibly can.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm not looking to be an inventor, or, you know, never claimed that, you know, that everything's my idea or anything along those lines. You can't, everything's already been done in the hobby. So I decided I'm just going to document everything in my way, the way that I can do it, in a way that I think others will actually understand it from it.
It's all in delivery. You can read a manual for your leaf blower, and 5 people can read it and take it different ways. So you putting everything together in a repository and then showing us at a layman's terms, easygoing fish keeper makes it easier for all of us to understand.
Right. It turned out to be the worst decision I have ever made for my channel, was to do it yourself projects, because imagine doing a new project every week.
Yeah.
Not just the time. It would take 20 to 40 hours to make the video, but imagine the expense.
Yeah.
But not because you had to for your own purpose, but because you needed to provide content, correct?
Yeah. Well, I never started breaking even on my channel till like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was always running a debt. I was always losing money.
Yeah.
It got really bad a few times, you know, when you're dedicating that much time to something that you're not making money from, the butterfly effect around you is devastating. For example, I'd wake up and I'd work on videos and my channel and whatever I need to do. Then I go to work for 8 to 10 hours, come home, I'd do that. Weekends were to catch up on videos. Do that for several years and see what your life will be like around you.
But were you trying to build your platform?
Not, well, sort of. Part of me thought so, but
it must have shifted at some point.
So if you didn't see that, a lot of this is not going to make sense unless you've seen the video on aquariums. Like, I feel like I owe the hobby so much.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, it used to be an overwhelming sense of like what I owe. I have to sacrifice for this. This is, you know, I didn't feel like it was my calling. I just felt like, if this did this for me, imagine what it could do for others. The problems came when, like, eventually, of course, you know, you start doing well, but I ran a debt in my hobby. Like, I was only making. Well, here's the biggest problem. So these days, and this is fantastic for new people up and coming, is like, they can look at aquarium channels these days, and you can see that it is possible for an aquarium channel to get 1 million subscribers. And the views that I get, like millions a month or whatever it is. I was the #1 aquarium channel since I hit 20,000 subscribers. So I'm the #1 top channel for years. I think it's been over 6 years now. and I wasn't making anything from it. And until I finally got monetized, and I was like, okay, now it's going to get easy, but I still wasn't making the money that I needed. Always running a deficit. Like my channel was costing at $2,000 a month. And at its best, I was making maybe $1,200 to $1,800 a month, like losing money. And I don't have an education, and I don't have a trade or anything like that. So I'm doing jobs that pay appropriate to somebody with no skills. So I'm not making enough money to barely keep my head above the water, but you become in a trance, you get lost. And
so here's my take on it. I come from a branding and marketing agency. I own an agency and help a lot of different brands out there build their empires, is what I always, when I talk to my clients, I said, it's time for us to build an empire. And I just want to say, Joey, you've done an exceptional job sticking to it, creating really good content, developing and cultivating a community, and keeping that community together. And you've inspired a ton of people. So Absolutely. I asked a question earlier in chat. I said, hey, does anybody want to see Joey's? He calls his fish room is the aquarium gallery. So I got a little video. We're going to break the interview up a little bit, and I'll just run that. We can take a look at your tanks. You got some amazing tanks, so let's just run that.
So I realize there's a ton of new subscribers to this channel, and many of you need to be caught up on what I actually have going out here. So I plan to give you an entire tour of my fish room or aquarium gallery. This tour has to start outside though. First and foremost, this is not my house. This is a separate building. It's a building dedicated to my aquariums, and I call it the aquarium gallery. My house is right here. My house is actually where we're going to go ahead and start. We don't have a lot of aquariums in here, but we do have one. I know that I said I'd never have any more aquariums in my house. It just happens. It's the saltwater aquarium, and it currently houses a lionfish. I apologize for the reflection. It is midday here, so. But the lionfish is absolutely amazing. Okay, that's it for in the house. Now, the actual gallery. Some stats first. The gallery is actually 35 feet long, 16 feet front to back or wide. Ceilings are, 9 feet tall. Just like a fish tank, we're giving the dimensions. We walk in the front door. It's mostly an empty room in here, but we are greeted. Well, you take a look around. It's a mess. I need to clean up. But we're greeted by the 375-gallon tank I built, as well as the 100-gallon tank that I built. This tank is 8 feet long, 3 feet front to back, 2 feet tall. 100-gallon, 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, 20 inches tall. At least I believe that's what it is. Let's take that was all the little tanks. To summarize, we've got a 375-gallon as soon as we walk in the gallery. Then below it is the 100-gallon Frank tank. We have a rack of 120-gallon aquariums. Each tank holds 120 gallons. The dimensions, 4 by 2 by 2, so 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, 2 feet tall. These are all done by custom aquariums. There's 10 of them. They're all on the same sumps. Maybe we'll run through that in the future. But each system is about 300 gallons, so about 1,500 gallons on this wall. What do you guys want to do next? You want to do the 2,000 or the 1,200? Let's do the 1,200 right quick, because it's the tank we can see the least in right now without my underwater cameras. Best tank, 2,000 or 1,200-gallon pond? Let me know in the comment section below. It's unfair because the 2,000 just has baby fish in it, but if you could imagine that pond with some absolute terrifying beasts touch the water and they just go attacking at it with those peacock bass, then we get that massive albino giant gourami in there. And then of course the red-tailed cats. It's definitely going to be overstocked with me saying that, but I have years in order to upgrade it. And if you haven't guessed it, I'm not only willing to build bigger tanks, I'm willing to tear down my old garage and erect an entire building dedicated to fish. And if this is the type of videos you like, and if you're as crazy as me and think that potentially this is something you want to do someday, I know you won't. But I'd love for you to come along for the ride and get to experience it with me. So if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, you most certainly should. You don't want to miss any of these videos. I guess that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour, guys. It was just really fast, but I have to go lay some floor. Yay!
Exceptionally long.
There you go. So that's awesome to look at. It might have been a little long, but you know.
I hate watching myself. Like, bro, shut up. Just show the fish.
Yeah. I feel you on that one. But that's an incredible. If you guys want to see that, it's go to the King of DIY on YouTube, obviously, and then search for his aquarium tour. There's a whole long segment. He goes through each one of his 120-gallon tanks and all that. So it's awesome, Joey. Looking good. So
Nice.
Let's talk about DIY projects. Let's see if we can inspire some of the viewers to gain the confidence to want to go out and maybe make something and all of that. So maybe you can tell us, like, what, like would-be newbie do-it-yourselfers need to know first before they decide to jump into any kind of project.
Oh man, kind of depends on what you're looking to build. A lot of the times people don't plan enough. So planning is extremely important. Then categorize where you're going to get all of the supplies and do some pre-shopping. So one thing for me that used to save me a tremendous amount of money is I would shop for supplies when they were on sale. Plywood when they were on sale, or if they were putting on anything really, just kind of wait and see when it's on sale and I'd pick it up. I think too many people rush out and want to get everything at once. They eventually spend way too much money or overspend and ruin the project due to excitement and short planning. So the biggest thing for me is always planning it out and taking your time.
Nice.
Something we probably nice to touch on, because I get asked this a couple times a week. I'm sure you've done this at some point in time, but I get asked 3 or 4 times a week about resealing tanks. And me personally, I don't like resealing anything over about 100, 125 gallons because I just don't trust it. But
yeah,
that would probably be a good question, because I guarantee a third of our viewers have either thought about it or tried it. What would be your, I know you've done it. You've had to have done it.
Oh yeah, I've got videos on it. I think people get confused with what resealing a tank actually is. There's 2 parts to your silicone. One's the seam and one is the actual seal. The inside is what you're resealing. You're removing what you can touch with your finger. And that's where the pinhole usually is. Once you remove that, lay a new bead of silicone down, it's fine. It's good to go. Ultimately, I think people sometimes run the razor blade into the actual seam itself where the tank is connected. That's where the structural integrity is. That's what's actually holding it together. And you would be surprised how strong silicone is, and you don't realize it till you actually take apart an aquarium. You'll never doubt it ever again. It's incredibly strong. But yeah, when we're sealing an aquarium, you're not resealing the seam. You're just doing the seal, like the inside that you can touch with your finger. You're just removing that.
Between the glass where one piece butts into the other, that silicone needs to be left alone.
Yeah.
You don't want to compromise.
Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Yeah, just remove all the others. Even if you just have a pinhole on one side, you have to reseal the whole tank, because once you run that new seam of silicone, old silicone doesn't stick very well to new silicone. So eventually that new silicone might lift up a little bit, and that leak will start again. So you got to reseal the entire thing. It can be a nightmare, but knowing when to reseal an aquarium, even if it's not leaking, is important as well. So I used to buy a lot of aquariums secondhand, and what I learned to ask is, was this ever stored outside? Regardless of the marketing on a piece of on silicone saying it doesn't shrink, it shrinks in cold weather. And when you bring it in, it's already shrunk. You won't see it, but the tank will leak eventually. So if it's been stored outside, I don't want to buy it because I don't want to have to reseal it. Depends on the deal. Other thing is if the silicone's older than 10 years, I like to reseal it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So let's see, I'm going to just push this through a little bit. Well, I get to ask a question mostly here. So I'm sure there's like some go-to supplies for every DIYer. Do you have a list like that or anything? You know, what are some? Yeah.
I put my stand together. I put my first stand together with a handsaw that I cut the boards with, and a hand screw, like a screwdriver, not electric. And that was a nightmare. So having a decent saw and an electric or a drill of some sort will always come in handy. Having different types of adhesives and clamps will also be nice to have. I always have lots of silicone. I always have lots of acrylic adhesives or cements, typically what they're referred to as, like Weld-On.
What do you use those for? Acrylic?
acrylic. I fix plastics. If I break something like a canister filter or something that breaks, I can fix it with that. There are two main different types. There's a watery type. I think it's Weldon 4. And then
that's a solvent, right?
That's a solvent. And then you have more of a higher viscosity with Weldon 16. It's more like a glue. And what happens there is it with the solvent especially, and I'm sure you guys know this, is when it touches the acrylic, it almost melts it. It fuses it together on a molecular level, and then the adhesive or the solvent evaporates, leaving together a solid piece. Now that will work for a lot of different types of builds. See, when I have plumbing that leaks, I don't go and I use Weldon 16 because I can apply it when it's like kind of damp, and within minutes I can start the water right back up.
But something, when you use that solvent, you've got to have a good joint. It's got to be scraped. It's got to be clean. You got to be working with two clean edges, putting it together, or it's just not going to work. If you've got any dirt on there, or if you've got a bad bevel or something.
With the solvent, yeah. But if you use the Weldon 16, which is a lot thicker, that's far more forgiving. And you can use that as a gap filler.
Okay.
So the solvents and silicones are something I like to have on hand. I like to have painter's tape. I like to have different clamps. You'll never know when you need to hold something together. I remember having 100-gallon blow up in my face, and clamps saved my fish.
Wow.
What else do I like to have? Yeah, the odd power tool, but ultimately, the longer you're in the hobby, for your birthday or for a holiday of some sort, instead of asking for something you're not going to use, maybe you ask for some power tools of some sort. I can assure you, you will get your use out of them eventually if you're in the hobby long enough.
PVC cutters. One thing I use a lot is
I use a bread knife for PVC.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do? Heat it up?
Just saw it and then snap it. I'm really messy.
I use a cordless Milwaukee handheld Sawzall, the little ones, and
right,
blow right through that stuff.
So one of the projects that I saw on your YouTube that inspired me, it's like these do-it-yourself DIY reactors. I think those are great starting projects. Yeah. It's a bottle, a little bit of airline, some hot glue gun. That's a good tool to have, a hot glue gun. That was inspiring. And, I think the idea behind the show tonight, not only just to get to know you more and to find out a little bit more about you in depth outside of your show, is to, inspire people to go out and do that. So, in our Facebook groups, we see it a lot, people asking about it. I know Robert's got a, algae, scrubber that he was inspired by you as well. He was talking about. So, yeah, I mean, we can take the show wherever you want to at this point, guys.
Joey kind of went right through things that I was already going to ask. He already took care of it in couple fluid motions. So
he's a pro. It's like
yeah, he's got a little bit of experience. Yeah, he kind of knows what he's doing.
So why don't we do this then? Why don't we take our break and we'll come back and we'll just let the viewers
ask some questions.
Yeah. So hey everyone, we always want to give away some cool stuff. We're going to give away a ton of stuff. There's a whole bunch of new stuff from the wheel that is going to be later on the giveaway, and that includes things like a 1,100-gallon water pump for water changes, a 3-in-1 power filter, Marineland Penguin 350. These are all the stuff that we've added to the wheel with some Seachem safes on there, API fresh water kit. So you can win this stuff towards the end of this program, and we're going to be there. So we've got new sponsors. I got to shout these out. So Windrider Creations is an acrylic tank manufacturer. It's Mario Vidakovic. It's very hard for me to say that, so I had to think about it. He and Steve Frosty are building with Windrider, and they saw the show. They really liked it and said, hey, we want to sponsor you. So they're offering a $500 acrylic wet dry filter for our viewers, and we're going to give that away this month. We also have another new sponsor, which is Find Your Nemo. Jeff Kevin Mills is doing an excellent job with his designs on his T-shirts, so we got a little promo there. And then as well, our past sponsor as well, ADA, is giving away some rocks tonight. Some tanks. ADA Tank Supply is giving away some decorative rocks, the Japanese rock and some of the dragon blood. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back for some questions and answers. If you want to call in, here is the call-in graphic. Of course.
Oh, people can call?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys got to call.
Yeah, call in and talk it up. There we go. You know, I almost forgot to mention too, Ron, our chat bot. So let's just let this be up here. We'll bring us back real quick. I do not know what's going on. There we go. Hey, technical difficulties. This is my life. Hey, so check this out, everyone. We switched over our live streaming to FishTalk Live. The reason we did that is we now have a interactive chat bot which you can get information. If you in the chat box type star info or star Joey or star Windrider Creations or any of that stuff, if you do that, a chat box will open up and give you the links and all of that. One of the coolest features on that is that it gives you a one touch. If you're on mobile, you can just click it and it will call the show right then. Boom. So it's a pretty cool little deal. So go ahead and try that if you want to. It's star info if you type that into the comments right now. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, Dave here. And I wanted to give a shout out and a mention about our new sponsor. We've been talking to them for the last couple of weeks. It's Mario Vidakovich and Steve Frosty over at Windrider Creations. Now they make some of the most incredible acrylic tanks. They also make sumps and wet dry filters and all that, and also bird enclosures. So anyway, they're doing amazing stuff. You can check them out, facebook.com/Windrider Creations, or you can check out their website, windridercreations.com. So they saw the show, they liked what was going on, they said, hey, we want to help you and Ron out, so we're going to give your viewers a $500 wet dry filter. So it's I think All right, everybody. We're coming back now into our live chat format. And so go ahead and post your questions for everybody, and we'll see for Joey, and we'll see what we can do here. So I apologize, gentlemen. I'm letting you know that my iPad just died, so I don't have the chat questions in front of me in real time. Yeah. So go ahead and post up your questions if you have any particular questions for Joey Mullen, the king of DIY.
Once I start seeing some questions, I'll start asking Joey.
There is a delay, folks. I think it's about 30 seconds. So when you answer your question and you don't think we've seen it, doesn't mean we didn't. It means that there is a delay.
Hey, you know one thing I saw, Joey, that I was like, wow, this is really cool. You're going to Dallas in a few months, and you're running a contest on your page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell everybody about that, or you just keep
Until
that
March.
Well,
yeah,
you can keep it a surprise, and you can say, hey, come over to my page and look at my video, or you can tell us about it. It's up to you.
I don't mind. Yeah, so how do I proposition that? So a lot of the times when I frequent events or when I have to talk or anything like that, I have to travel so far and be away for so long that a lot of the times they pay me to do it, which is they pay every speaker. I told them I don't want the money. I'd rather use it to run a contest. Contest will be who's the King of DIY's biggest fan. I want to know that they actually want to be there. I've seen contests run before where somebody wins randomly and they don't actually really care. They just wanted to win something. But I wanted to make sure that whoever won this was actually a fan because I'll be flying them out, all inclusive, everything paid for, flight, hotel. They're going to have a concierge, which is somebody that's assigned to them, make sure that they're good the entire time. Plus, they get to bring a +1. So 2 flights, 2 hotels. Well, they'll share a room, whatever. All expenses paid. They'll get into the event early with me. They'll probably be in a video with me. They're going to get a bunch of gifts and whatnot. And it's for the whole weekend at the end of March 30th to 31st at Aquapella, Texas.
Yeah,
Dallas.
that's awesome. So I'm starting to see some questions. You see some?
I'm writing them down.
Oh, go ahead. Let's answer some of these questions.
One of the questions was, what's your favorite species of fish?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Whoever asked that doesn't watch my videos because I think like 2 weeks ago I did a video on what's my favorite fish.
Yeah.
So it depends. If I could only keep one species of fish, like an individual one fish, it would be Asian arowana. If I could keep a group of fish, it would be freshwater stingrays. Or if I had to be more practical and not have thousands of gallons of an aquarium, it would be the Walru amphican.
Nice. Looks like Paul Weiser's saying, have you ever done a DIY cichlid egg tumbler?
No. I've never kept fish that required. Well, I've kept fish that needed it, but I never built it. No.
Yeah.
I never had the requirement or need to, and I tend not to build anything that I don't actually have experience with it being successful. So not having eggs for it to tumble, I knew that making one would be out of my depths.
Nice.
Even though it's a very simple build, but at the end, I want people to understand that I'm doing it because one, I know it works, and I have experience with it. I don't really want to build.
Plus, you can get them pretty cheap. I mean, you can get them for $12-15 if you really want to buy one.
A lot of people want me to build automatic feeders and things, timers and things that you can buy for $5 and $10 these days. So there does come a point where it's not that practical to build certain things.
Yep, exactly. I had somebody ask whether or not your under gravel jet system worked for you.
The technology works, and it's a known method of filtration and has been for a long time. So yes, it works. I don't actively use it because my substrates are not deep enough to require it. I have ample filtration as well as circulation in my aquarium, so it's just simply not required. But yeah, of course they work.
So I found a good one here. Chris Homich, he says, and this is something I have an interest in, so obviously I think it's great. Any thoughts about building a DIY aquarium monitor using that new Raspberry Pi SBC with the sensors and all that? Have you got any interest in that, jumping into that?
Do you have any electronic background?
I do not, but I've blown some breakers in my...
There's probably the 18-inch subwoofer.
Not into it enough and know enough to actually jump on video. I don't feel like the demand is there. I've created demand with like certain projects and popularizing them, but it's just not something that that I've ever
or may not be practical in your fish keeping.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing here Charlie, and sorry Charlie about this, but Villavanoski. What is the biggest challenge in maintaining your aquarium gallery? And he also wants to know if you have a backup generator in place.
Yeah, I've shown. I do have a generator that can run the entire building. I just plug it in and switch it over. Plus, every aquarium is on battery backup. So for 12 hours, if the power goes out, 12 to 16 hours time frame at which I have now to get the generator in here up and going. But since the entire gallery is run by heating it with the heat pump as opposed to heaters, aquarium heaters, if the power goes out, I have hours to get in here and make sure that the temperature is back up and running. But it's really just the flip of a switch and starting the generator.
So it's not an automatic generator. You have to manually go out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I live in South Florida. We get a hurricane every 10 minutes, and we are all very familiar with generators down here in Florida.
Yeah. Well, I rarely lose power, but it seems as though the biggest challenge with the gallery is not maintaining it. It's that every aspect of it is on video. So regardless of what a fish keeper says and how high on their horse they might be, we all have the same problems. It's just a matter of what are we willing to tell everybody, because then your online image changes. So my biggest challenge is ensuring transparency in everything. And little things happen. But what I've discovered with YouTube is people like when I tell stories, whether it's a small story or a big one, and YouTube loves it when there's a problem, when a problem arises, like power outage or, misstocked your aquarium, mistakes. People love mistake videos and whatnot, but you make enough of them and it seems like that's all you do. So biggest challenge for me is to make sure nothing ever happens.
No,
Yeah.
it's you're the groundskeeper, and it's more stressful than people realize. I have thousands of fish I have to keep an eye on every day, and when I go away for a couple of days, I worry about them. And I had a customer recently come to see everything. He goes, "Well, what do you do when you have a hurricane?" And I showed him a generator. I showed him everything and all my backups and my pumps and stuff. And he's like, "Can you do a show on emergency situations?" Because
It's actually smart.
people ask me all the time, they lean on me for info, and I give them my standpoint. But now we have these shows, and we can actually put it somewhere, like you were saying earlier about a repository. They can always go and look for it.
Yeah.
So.
I've done videos where top 5, top 10 projects that will save you in a power outage. Everything from heating your aquarium to aerating it with potatoes. Done quite a bit there.
Let's go ahead and bring a caller on here. We've got a caller that wants to come in, and so we're going to bring him on and let them ask you a question. How's it going, caller? Let's unmute you. Let me find that window. You guys bear with me. This technical stuff can get outrageous sometimes here. All right, caller. Are you there? You called? Yeah, who is this?
Hi, this is Nellie.
Hey, welcome, Nellie.
Hey, welcome.
Hi. Hey, is Joey on there?
Yes,
I'm right
he is.
here. I can hear
Hey,
you.
Joey.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to talk to you. This is so awesome.
Making me blush.
Oh, good. I love your smile. You're such a happy guy. I love it. My husband and I watch you all the time.
Thank you.
We live in Middle Georgia.
Georgia. You don't sound like
USA.
you're from Georgia.
No, I'm not. I'm a transplant.
Yeah. I'm a transplant in Alabama, by the way. I'm from California.
Are ya?
Yeah. So do you have a question for, what was your name again? I'm sorry.
Nellie?
Nellie, that's right. Do you have a question for Joey tonight, Nellie?
I do not have a question for him. I just really wanted to say hello.
That's not a
And
problem. We
I
love
really-
having you.
No, I really don't have a question because I watch him all the time, and I'm going to send you a video for your biggest fan because I've been sick for a month, so I've had no voice and stuff like that. So I have to get my video done, but I'm going to send you one. But I just wanted to tell you while I have a chance that you're awesome, and my husband and I enjoy your videos so much. We learn so much. We keep fish now. We used to raise horses and train horses and take in rescues and stuff that had issues, and we'd work with them and then rehome them. where, you know, like we're not professional trainers, but we would just figure it out as we went along. Other things like people can't do. And then I ended up getting cancer in 2015. And right before that, I just felt like suddenly I was supposed to rehome all the horses we were working with, and I couldn't figure out why. We went away on vacation and found out I had cancer. I'm 100% cancer free, but the chemo affected my body so much that I can't do things with horses that I used to do. And so we started fish keeping because it keeps me happy in the house and it gives me something beautiful to look at and enjoy. And that's how I found you. So that's how we started watching you. And I just want to tell you how much we've learned from you and how much we enjoy you, how much we, like I was laughing because you just said that somebody was asking you what your favorite fish was. And I was like, he's just talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
So how about this, Nellie? What kind of fish do you keep? Just like a quick list of what you got.
A quick list? We have a 55-gallon that's got acaras that a man nearby me, like he made kind of a mixture of acaras, and so it's I don't even know what he calls them, some kind of speckled or something. But he gave those to me, and there's a Severum in there, and we have now before I got into really watching Joey, we got silver dollars, and now I kind of regret it because I know they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But the good part of that is that there's a guy nearby here, like several people in my area that keep ponds with, you know, huge, big ponds, like big like Joey's got. And so I know that eventually that if they outgrow my tank, that I can have a place to put them. And so then we have a medium-sized tank that's got a little betta sorority in it because I decided to breed them for a little while, and I was getting involved with this lady that shows them and stuff, but that really wasn't my thing. So I just kept some of the babies in there together, and they all get along until they don't get along, and then like I had to take one of them out, but there's 3 females and a male in there. And then we have a big tank that's like over 100 gallons, and we have a whole hodgepodge in there of a bunch of different kinds of cichlids.
You got
the big silver dollars are in there.
Hey, check this out, Nellie.
Sir?
So you got a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
And
Nellie.
I learned about.
Go ahead, Ron.
I learned about dither fish from Joey, and so we ended up getting, because our fish were like hiding from us all the time, and I was like, Joey said get some dither fish. We're gonna get some dither fish.
Nice.
So
reach and then Nellie, reach out to me after the show, and I will send you some fish food on the house.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm glad you called. You had a
okay. How do I reach out to you?
So go to FishTalk Live, search on Facebook, FishTalk Live or Ron Cichlids. So one of those 2 pages, and send a message, and Ron will get the message, and we'll send you out some food for calling. And thank you so much.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you,
Nellie. Have a good night. Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Nellie, I gotta start doing this. I need a chat line.
So now you know.
I like it.
Yeah. We're gonna let you go now, Nellie. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right.
You guys have a great night. Okay. Bye-bye.
So now you know kind of why we have this platform. Because we talked a little bit about platforms, Joey, and you're like, hey, man, like, you know, YouTube and this, and so just kind of gamifying the experience, you know, bringing the community closer and having this kind of thing. And hey, you're helping us just by sharing your knowledge and about the back end of streaming and building communities. And if you need, you know, any sort of help, you know, I'd love to help you out and get that going too, so we can get a call into Joey. But it was awesome. Nellie, you're awesome, lady. All right. So, do we have any more? There was a lot more questions. How are you guys feeling right now? We're kind of pushing the time up a little bit. And shall we just go ahead and end this part and go right into it? So we're going to be giving away some fish. There's a ton of stuff that we're doing, but we're a little short-handed with our moderators as far as that goes. So just bear with us, and we're going to get through that and give away some really cool stuff.
Got to give it our 100 members.
Yeah. So hey, Joey, I'm always conscious about our guest time. You're welcome to stick with us through the whole show, but it's probably another 20 to 30 minutes to get through what we got. So we can either sign off and say thank you for that, or however you want to do it.
If he wants to leave, let's let him say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I will take off. I'll let you guys do your thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us live. I certainly appreciate it. These guys seem to be having good thing on the go here. So if you enjoy these types of things, I can't say if I'll be back or if I'll ever be invited back. But
oh, you'll be invited back.
You're welcome, brother. Anytime.
But if you guys enjoy this sort of thing, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss their future videos.
Yeah, I mean, stick around until you want, if you want to drop off, and however you want to do it. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just always real conscious of people's time. I don't know why. We're going to run into a social segue here. Ron is on Instagram at Ron Cichlids. We also are on Twitter with Ron Demers 6. So let's go ahead and move into the member video of the week today. So this is a cool video, Ron.
Yeah, it's brought to us from Shay. Got some beautiful fish in there. You got some ivory heads. I see a Jack Dempsey floating around in there out in back. You know, not ideal tank mate, but he looks like he's doing well in there. You've got Venustus and some red shoulders and bicolor in there, and look like Lethernops in there. Really cool. I like the rocks in the background, and the fish seem to be popping. They look happy.
Yeah. So this is our member of the week. And Shay, if you're online right now, why don't you send us a message? Say, hey, what's up? Say, I'm here, so that we know if you're here or not. The one thing that we can do is give away some stuff. So I'm going to pull up the wheel because I want people to see what we've done. Oh, you know what I was going to do? And I didn't do it, Ron. I was going to put a little slideshow together of all this new stuff on the wheel. So let's just pull this up. Come over here. Let's see where the wheel's at. Boom, there's the wheel. Let's see. So let me see if I can slideshow. That'd be a little too hard to try to do a bunch of screen captures. Let me just tell you what's on the wheel. We've added an API water test kit. Thank you for that out there. And then CChem, we've got enough CChem. It's a 250 grams, but that is like 50,000 gallons of water that it will dechlorinate. So that's pretty awesome. Then we got a couple of different kinds of filters. We got that Marineland Penguin, which is great for your 20 long, your quarantine tank or whatnot, but it's good for a 50 to 70 gallon tank. We got a pack of 4-inch sponges for breeder sponges. That's what I call them, but the 20 gallon kind of 4-inch sponge and some other kind of sponges on there. So who wants to win some stuff? I'm going to take a breath because I'm speaking too much, and I'll let there goes the iPad is finally done. So I'm not going to be able to count these people, Ron. Hey, let's go back and do this. We owe somebody some stuff from on the Woo Picker from the previous one. So we're going to spin this wheel first, and we're going to spin it. And this is for the episode number 8. So a lot of you were like, what happened with the winner? What did they win? What did they win? Well, this is what they won. What did they win? Oh, they won a large fish. They won a large fish. Your choice off of Ron Cichlids. So you get to go on the shop, and we'll give you a link and all that, and shipping and everything's included. So this is from week number 8. Let me go ahead and...
Who was that?
Well, we haven't picked them yet.
Oh.
So here's our posts, right? So this is our post, and we are going to go to... I've got to get closer. There was 466 there, so we're going to say pick winner off of this one. Of course, it wants me to re-log in here. Okay, and so remember how we asked people to put in that star or that pound win? So we're telling the software to go ahead and pick from the photography episode because we didn't give something away, and we're going to pick the winner on that. So that winner is Brian Airtrip. So congratulations, Brian. You certainly do have it dialed in. So anyway, congratulations, Brian. We're gonna go ahead and contact Ron Cichlids.
Congrats, Brian.
And we'll make that happen. So now I'm kind of in blind because I don't have any of the real-time show, Ron, in front of me. I just have what we're doing. So let's go ahead and do the for this week. Yeah. No, for this week we're gonna do the spin the wheel, and we're gonna pick probably, what is it? We're gonna pick 3 people this time off of, when I tell you to, I'll give you the word that we want you to comment. We're gonna pick 3 people. One person is gonna spin the wheel for this week. Another person is gonna win some killer rock from ADA Tank Supply. It's a $50 worth of rock, and if you order a $80 rock, then you can apply the $50 towards the 80, is what they were saying. And so you get to pick whatever rock you want, and they've got the amazing rock at ADA Tank Supply. Go to their Facebook page and check it out. James and Jeffrey, great guys. We love them. They're out in Springfield, Missouri. I know I got picked up some rock from them, and Ron, I think you did too, right?
I got a box of it. I haven't opened it up yet because I just got home from South Carolina, but my house sitter, fish sitter, said that was a heavy damn box.
so we're going to do that. And then also we have, Kevin Mills has been designing some amazing t-shirts. And so we're going to go ahead and give away a t-shirt for Kevin. So right now I'm going to play the music, and the winning hashtag for this one is going to be, why don't you pick it, Ron? A 1-word hashtag that people can comment right now, and I'll play the music, and it'll be about a minute to do that. What's a hashtag, Ron? Pick one.
Shirt. Hashtag shirt.
Shirt. Hashtag shirt. Anybody that wants to. So it's 3. It's not just a shirt. It's going to be for a spin of the wheel, for the t-shirt, and for the tank supply.
Oh, so you're gonna have one hashtag for all 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're gonna pick those right now. So go ahead and start putting that in. I'm gonna go ahead and play the music, and when this music is done, we are gonna close that off. I've got to do a couple other things as well, Ron. So let me just push this through. I can't even see my screen right now. There it is. So don't mind the screen here. Use the hashtag symbol. And it's hashtag shirt. Yeah, hashtag shirt. Hashtag shirt. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. We're going to let that run. So enter now. We've got 3 things going on here. Spin. So I'm pulling it up right now, and so that I can do this. 3 things going on here. Spin. Okay, hurry up everybody. I'm just about ready to close this up. Anybody else? Hashtag shirt. Shirt. I mean, couldn't you have picked a Boona or like Red Anyway.
You said pick whatever I want. Now you're going to beat me up over it.
Next week, what is it going to be? Lollipop or
I was throwing Kevin
fairy dust?
Man.
I'm just teasing you. I'm closing it right now, everybody. All right. So I'm typing that in right now. So it's closed now, and we're going to go ahead and go to the fish of the week. Go ahead and tell us what the fish of the week is, Ron.
Fish of the week is a OB peacock. Beautiful species. They're originally a hybrid created by us, man. You won't find them OB peacocks in their native habitat because they don't exist. The original cross was a Baboona with a peacock, and now we have the peacocks. These days they're being crossbred with anything with fins, so it's very difficult to keep tabs on what the genealogy is, but for the most part they're OB peacocks or dragon bloods or some type of peacock. No 2 look alike. That's something special about them. You can get them in oranges and yellows and blues and reds and pinks. They call them OB, which is orange blotch. because the blotching that's on there, the black or the blue tabs on blueberry, the genie, the blotching that's on there. You can get them just about any color.
So
females will have the blotching as well, but usually not very much color, if any at all.
So this is Fish of the Week, and the way Fish of the Week usually works is that for 24 hours from now until tomorrow night at 11:59 or whatever, you can use that code OBS10 and order an OBS with 25% off. I mean, that's a pretty good discount. We really appreciate you doing that, Ron. He's got several large and several extra large OBs that he can offer at that price. Puts you down around $20 for a very nice fish, somewhere in there. Don't quote me exactly, but it's 20 or 22 or 18 or something like that. So anyway, that's what we've got going on there. And now we've got to sort out, so with, let's see. I've changed it, but it's not changing. Let's just bring us back real quick. Apologize about that. I have such stress in my eyes that I can't see anything anymore. So we are kind of limited tonight. So you guys probably saw some of our promos that we're bringing a sidekick on for Ron, Andrea, the cichlid chick, but unfortunately she had a health issue for tonight. So it's a problem. So we're going to introduce her next week. And then we also have a little bit. So help me figure out how we're going to give this away and do this spin real quick.
With our software, it doesn't necessarily work the way we want it to live. So I don't.
So I'm trying to figure out how to get to. I'm only seeing from Mike LaForce, so I've got to be able to count this up. So anyway, so let's go ahead and do the generator.
That or we can do
pick those. No, let's pick the 3 numbers. So let's go ahead and go. I literally cannot even see my screen anymore. That's how fatigued my eyes get. All right, so random generator. Is that a random generator? Yeah. So let's pick those 3. Oh, we don't know how many there are. So let's.
No, I think if we just announce the winners on the show the following week, we can pull it, and it's the same concept. Just makes those people tune in next week to watch it to see if they won.
Yeah, that's true. That's one way to look at it, right?
Yeah.
We can also go live tomorrow.
Yeah.
So our live chat moderator is not with us as well. And she's the one that usually writes down all the names, counts them up, gives us the number, allows us to put that number in.
We have some people that had some family emergencies and some health issues that they had to deal with. So we're a little light on staff tonight. So
yeah, and it makes it tough on my end. So, but what we could do. Yeah, let's do that. So everybody that went in there, that put that in there, the pound shirt, we'll go ahead and let you know how and when you won last week. So I think that pretty much brings us all the way through the show, Ron.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what a great show. I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Joey Mullen. Next week we have another guest, and I'm sorry, I'm just so distracted on like everything.
He's an amazing guest. Some of you know who he is, some of you don't. If you know, we'll tell you his name, and you can start looking him up if you'd like. But his name is Larry Johnson. There is probably not one single person that has been to Lake Malawi or any of those lakes as many times as that man has.
Yeah.
And taking pictures. He is a professional photographer. He goes all over the world and probably has taken more pictures of fish underwater than any other human being. So he's going to be our guest for the next show. And if you all want to look him up, his name is Larry Johnson, just like the basketball player. He's a member of other fish groups as well.
Yeah.
Amazing man.
So the whole month, we're going to dedicate the whole month of January to Lake Malawi. And we're going to start off with Larry Johnson. He's been there. He's going to share his experiences of being in Africa. He's going to share some of the efforts that he's seen about conservation. He imports from Malawi into Canada and does all that. So he's a great guy. He's also a photographer. So he gets in the water, takes his cameras in the water, goes diving, and takes great pictures. He's going to be on. And then following the next 3 episodes following that, we haven't determined the exact format, but we're going to talk just about Malawi fish. So peacocks and haps, and then we're going to have a show on mbuna, and we may even have a show on the other fish and other conservation efforts that are there. So speaking of that, we decided, Ron and I thought about it and decided that, you know, it would be better if we could support some sort of conservation effort, some sort of nonprofit. So we are partnering up with Mr. Big Rich Price up in Ohio. We really want to take some time to put his efforts out there. Now he's got the Ohio Fish Rescue. He's got a 4,000-gallon tank. You've all probably seen it on YouTube. It's absolutely amazing. But he's got a large facility where he rescues fish, and then he tries to rehome them. And it takes a lot of money to do that. So he's got a PayPal that we can all certainly, you know, throw some money to him, you know, what's $10 a month, right? Especially if you really love fish, right? Like, you know, it doesn't have to be your own fish. You can still, you know, love to see those efforts. Anyway, so that's Big Rick Price with Ohio Fish Rescue.
He's like the dog pound animal rescue for fish.
Yeah,
you know? He takes in fish that people can't house, don't want, and some of them he finds new homes for them. The ones he can't find new homes, he gives them a permanent home. Takes care of them. Has people come through his facility like a big aquarium.
Yeah. And I think one of the other ones that we were talking about, Ron, was the Florida State Fish and Wildlife Conservation Program. Is particularly about.
I've done some more research, and what's near and dear to my heart, and projects that my children have gone through, and they still go through it to this day in the schools, is the kids conservation type programs, sponsoring field trips for children to understand the habitat, the wildlife that lives around them, how to conserve it, how to not go out of their way to destroy it or litter and stuff. And there's some great programs, especially in Florida, for youth.
And it's really also about the non-invasive species. You know, and educating the public, like, hey, if you buy an Oscar and it outgrows your tank and it's like 16 inches, don't go down to the canal and throw it in there. It really does more damage than good. So you may think you're saving this one Oscar that, you know, winked at you one time in the tank, and it's your best friend, but you can't deal with them anymore. And when I first met you, Ron, you were saying the same thing about fishing. You know, you go fishing and you probably catch an Oscar every time, right?
South Florida is inundated with things that don't live here. I mean, we catch 3-foot-long snakeheads, clown knife fish, just these prehistoric looking things that just don't belong here. But this is South Florida. Everything thrives in our habitat. I can't go anywhere without seeing 4 to 6 foot iguanas, you know, monitor lizards, pythons, boas. I mean, South Florida is a zoo of things that don't belong here.
So you can get all this information. You can get information about Joey, his website, his YouTube. You can get information about Find Your Nemo. You can get T-shirts. You can get information about ADA Tank Supplies and Wind Rider Creations. You can also get information about Ron Cichlids, the fish that he has, the food that he sells, all from going to FishTalk Live and going and sending a message to the page. So if you send us a message, that opens up a chatbot. Now, some people get scared of chatbots. Don't be afraid of it. It's just an information providing service. We're not going to use it to be throwing a bunch of stuff at you, but we do want you to be able to have all that stuff there. So I spent a good amount of time last week setting that up. I engage with it, do that. Give us your shares and your likes. You know, this program is in the Fish Talk Live show is growing because of you. For that extra 30 seconds or minute that you go out and you give those likes, especially the YouTube channel, Ron really needs the subscriptions. It really helps out. It allows us to do more. It allows us to put more things on the wheel, the filters and all that, and for Ron to give away more fish. So the show's all about education and gamify. And the gamify stuff, like Joey was saying in his show, you know, these shows cost money. And the more support that we get from everyone, the better we can make the show grow and do all that. So I, for one, appreciate y'all. It's been fun. This is our 10th episode, Ron. So I think we've covered most of it, and we're going to sign off now. And like always, I'm going to leave the last word here for Ron, and then we're going to go. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to 2019. We're going to keep the momentum going, and we're going to push even harder. We're going to focus on what's important. I'm going to focus on what's important. What's important for me is my groups, my people, my followers. We're going to start seeing less and less in other places because I'm focusing on you guys. We've got a great group of people. We help each other, and I'm going to focus 99% of my efforts on you guys this year. So I appreciate every one of you. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yeah,
Back to Tuesday next week.
Yeah, and just the last part, thank you so much, Joey Mullen, for being here, making this a good show. You're a great guy.
Thank you.
And, of course, we'll have you back on if you would like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Come on for an epic Noah's Ark build.
Noah's Ark with glass sides.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
glass
everyone.
Bottom.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Uh,